Andy with Vest Pocket Management here. This video truly marks the start of our live sound department. I'm so excited to share this journey with you. Over this video and a few others, you'll see a hand-built Paraflex HOQS sound system come to life. If you don't know what some of those words truly mean, stick around. As we show you how it's made, I'll share knowledge with you so you can know a little bit about sound system culture and why we are so excited to bring this rig to a venue near you. HOQS, or High Order Quarter Wave Society, is a sound system group that sells high-quality speakers and their necessary parts. In order to optimize their sound, HOQS created Paraflex, an ability to release a fine-tuned speaker cabinet for their products in a way that is considered open source. This means that if you have the tools and the knowledge, you are more than welcome to utilize them. What you see in the bottom of the video is those open source plans provided by HOQS Paraflex. The plans, called the La Playa, is their newest iteration of subwoofer boxes. I'll show you some of what makes this design so unique later in this video. Nick, with some great tools and some greater knowledge, recalibrated the plans to support the CNC machine we'd be using to cut our pieces before construction. This took some maneuvering of the cutouts, as the drill bit on the CNC would eat up some of the sheet of wood as opposed to the table saw. After getting the plans fine-tuned, it was off to get our Baltic birch and some generic plywood to make what we were going to call the mock-up. Because this is the first time we were diving into something like this, we figured not to waste our nice wood and make sure everything cut and pieced together. This is the CNC machine we'll be utilizing for our build. Also, for a lot of this video, the building of our mock-up is in time-lapse. Our video today represents about 8 hours of build time. We used ear protection during cutting this. It's a very loud machine with bits drilling into wood, not to mention the large tube running to the ceiling as a suction to remove wood dust. You see some excess wood being thrown off to the side. We're actually going to make some really cool items that we'll be able to give away as gifts to fans or sell at events. It wasn't but about 20 minutes into the cutting process that the vacuum attachment fell and got a little mangled. Nick, unfazed, had unfortunately dealt with this before. We changed from using a clamp to some opposing zip ties, and we were on our way. It held up during the entire cutting process for our mock-up. The smaller holes being cut in a line help reduce weight and allow sound to travel through the box, not to mention the ridiculous amount of support needed within the construction of the box itself. The two larger circles make up the panel that will hold the two 18-inch drivers within the box. One of the things we realized as we were cutting out our sheets was being sure to zero out the machine, essentially getting the graph to read 0, 0 on an XY chart. Once we understood how to calibrate the sheets onto the machine, cutting the pieces we needed was a fairly straightforward process. Finishing up for the evening, we would pick everything else up back the next day as we started to piece everything together. Breaking up the build of our mock-up box into 2 sessions really made a big difference. We had worked an event the night before, so we were really very excited, but worn out. As we started the build process, we used squaring tools to make sure everything lined up, and even used some homemade spacers to quality check ourselves. You can see the spacer initially clamped on what will be the front of the box. The bars and spacers that are being secured help all the sound waves in the form of immense pressure travel throughout the box. Fun fact, the dried wood glue at the connected butt joints are stronger than the wood itself. The nails that you'll see from the nail gun are there merely just to help the glue cure. I want to also take this time to say how awesome my fiancée Zoe has been helping with this project. She really is quite the builder. This was probably one of the more satisfying parts of the build, because the box truly started to take shape as we got the plate in for the drivers to be mounted on. We did notice at this point the true reason for zeroing out the machine. When we had taken a second pass on one of our sheets, it was inches off, not to mention having a little bit of overhang for a bit to chew up. We had found gapping within some of our connection spots. This was a great call to do a mock box so we can make all the necessary adjustments before building 6 total subwoofer boxes, 4 mid-range boxes to make the entire system. We will also have cones to support the high-range frequencies, but we still haven't decided the best way to present to house them. There are so many different options. Changing perspectives, we are now looking at the back of the box. We are placing those long linear slats as well as the back wall in at this time. This personally is my favorite part of the design. What this part of the box makes is called the baffle. The baffle, in simple terms, acts as the equivalent of a P-trap from a sink or toilet. There's so much pressure coming in and out of the enclosed system that no dust or particulate like sand can make it into critical parts of the system. Well, that's all the build. We are so excited as you continue to follow us as we bring this sound system to life. Please be sure to subscribe and follow along wherever you engage in social media.
Control.